Hello, world. Welcome to episode 42 of the podcast monitor. Last time we merged in the message factory, and this time we are going we started kind of prototyping the final stuff, and we actually sent out our first kind of tweets with some of the messages, and we're going to continue with that today. The first thing I'm going to do is. I'm going to get rid of this stuff and we're going to check out because we used the current date. And today there are more podcasts. We can keep doing that, so we will do that. But I don't want to tweet it. I want to see what they look like so far today. So let's get started and we're going to comment this out. And we're going to come here and instead we're going to print the message. And then for our in replies, we'll print R. And let's run this. And so we get, today we had, on Friday, we had Moco and we had Cooligans, and they were released with this. The other thing we had to look at was these links, because this one shows up as a good link, and this one does not, so we'll have to see how we need to play with that. I want to double check this. So let's see. Okay, yeah, interesting. So I have this one. What's interesting is I have this one listed as yesterday, and this one listed as today. I'm curious. Maybe they posted it very late? I'm actually going to look that up. Let's check it out. So we'll come over to feeds. We're going to take the main feed here. We'll switch over to the browser and we will add this in. And so let's see. We had the Moco one. Alright, so it's listed as Friday. Maybe it's just my app that's slow. It's also listed at, 0 at midnight. And this one was at 7 a.m. So that might have to do with why maybe my app does something differently there. But okay, we'll come back. So the other thing is there were 3 other podcasts that weren't on the main channel but were uploaded today. One was Mystery Crate, South Beach Sessions, and then the one that's never on there, which is the Point Forward podcast. So what we need to do is we need to actually come into we need to actually collect everything and then create like a union of it. So what we need to do is we need to basically do these for each feed. So let's try that. And so what we'll do is we'll say for L feed metadata will equal feed metadata D for D in data, and this is not a capital D. So that'll get us the metadata, but instead of just this one, it'll get us for all of them. And then what we're going to do is we need to filter each one. So we'll say L, or so actually no, hold on, wait, filter. Oh, and we need to get each feed. So we can do that in one line as well. We can just instead of doing that, we'll do L feeds, and in here we'll do parser.getFeed. So we'll just take each one like that. And now we need to union them all together. Or is it intersection? What do we have? We have, where is our filter? So we have a difference and an intersection. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do, so this is where it's interesting. So we only have one main feed. We really should have like a, well, I guess you could do, yeah, we don't really have like a union or anything, which would be useful to say like, hey, like, yeah, let's union these two feeds together. Right, because this one is just get everything that's, everything in check that's not in against, and this is everything that's checked that is in against. But we don't really have a way to take those two feeds and add them together, which we'll probably want. But for now, I think we can still do it without that because we only have one main feed. And so what we can say is we can say, well, I think we need to do a union, which I'm just going to do here. I'm not going to add it into this yet. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, paste it in here. I'm going to say def union, and this will be one, two. Return data, we'll do the metadata from one. I don't even know if it makes sense to have the feed there at that point. So what if we just return a list of, we'll say from episode import episode. Actually, no, we do. Because we want down here, we do want the Twitter handle from the metadata. So we can return a feed, and that's fine. Okay, so the return data, metadata here. Now we got to get episodes. So what is episodes? Episode is basically we could do it. We could actually use the filter here because we can say filter dot difference. Right. So we want the so filter dot difference is 1, 2, and that return, and then we just want the episodes from that. And so these are feed 1 only episodes. And then we're going to have feed 2 only episodes, which we'll just do the opposite for. So we'll just take the difference of 2 and 1. And then we can say, and then we can basically just say this is equal to feed 1 episodes plus feed 2 episodes. And then we'll return that. So what we can do here is we can say, now I know the main feed is the first one, so we'll just start with, we'll just do it easily, and we'll just say main feed is feeds 0, and L feeds equals, and we'll do a slice starting at 1 of L feeds. And so what this does here is if we come over, I'll show you. So this is, so if we have like a list, say of just 0, 1, 2, 3, then we take a slice starting at the first one, going till the end. We basically are just cutting off this first element from it and creating a new one, creating a new like list. So we'll do that. So now we have the main feed and these, and now what we want to do is we want to basically create a all episode feed is equal to none, and we're going to say for, or we'll say this is equal to we don't have a copy, right, in feed? No. So we'll create a new feed. And this needs to be a dictionary with I don't want to like alter the entire main feed because I have to do stuff with that down there. Well, I guess it's fine. I'll just start with this now. So we'll say for feed in L feeds, we'll do a union of main feed. We'll say main feed equals the union of main feed and L feeds. Okay, and then we'll come down here and we're going to change this to be main feed episodes, and this will be main feed as well. And then for now we'll get rid of this, and let's print that out and let's see if this works. Union missing one required positional argument 2. Oh, because of the self. All right, so it looks like it takes a second, and I'm sure since we failed here, obviously, I'm sure it must be integers or slices, not a string. What is this for? So this is line 30 in difference, coming from line 32 in union. So in here, what is difference returning? Difference returns a feed, which should have metadata and episodes. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. So I'm calling this with 1 and 2, which is the main feed. Oh, that's why. It should be feed. And so we'll have to think about whether this is too slow. Right, so it looks like what's taking time mainly to start with is all these operations. So we might have to consider, oh, well, do we want, like, what things we want to update? So there might be a decent amount of refactoring that we end up doing, right? We already see that the union here, we kind of want, maybe we want to create like some processes, multiple processes to do this, to look up kind of each feed independently. So that way it'll go much faster. That's certainly possible. We can create this, fairly easy to just make this kind of multi-process and then just wait for them all. And then now it does look like this here is also taking a while. And I don't know where it's at, but I guess the other thing with this is, with the union, what we could do is we could obviously code it to not use the difference. We could also code it. We could also just do this difference outside of this kind of method. That might also be faster. If we did something like for feed in L feeds, we'll say like episodes equal main feed episodes, and then we'd say for feed in L feeds, and we can be like in feed only is going to be filter.difference the main feed against feed, and then we can grab the episodes out of that. This is taking a while. And then we can just say episodes plus equals in feed only. And then we'll have we'll call this all episodes, and then in reality we could just do this here. So add to all episodes, that, we can move this. That would actually be quicker than calling this. Change, we can also get rid of this. So we'll grab all the feeds, separate out the main feed from the list of feeds, and then do a difference for each one of them. And that gets all the episodes, and then we could come in here, and this here would just be all episodes. We'll use the date, and this would still be the main feed metadata Twitter handle, and then print that. All right, this is now taking way too long, so I'm going to stop it. And let's try again with this other version and hope it's faster. And if this starts taking too long, I'm going to add some print statements to see where we're at. So it takes a little bit of time to do this. And then we can say print have all feeds. And then in here we'll go print we'll do an F string, and we'll say adding episodes from feed metadata and what is it? Title, Twitter handle. What do we got? We got name. And what's this complaining about? Oh, I guess I can't do that. So I gotta say name equals feed metadata name. And then in here, I'm going to say name. Adding episodes from that. And then we'll say print done. And then down here we'll do print have all episodes in a list. Alright, this is also taking too long, so let's do this. Now the first one was definitely getting down here. So okay, we have all the episodes. Now we're adding episodes from Lepertard and Friends Stupidity. And this is taking a while. Now we were definitely using difference, right? No, we weren't. But difference should work. I mean, we have a test method for it. Where we're taking the difference of these feeds and we were getting the correct results. So what could be taking so long? So in difference, let's see. We're getting the metadata for episodes in that, if episode not in that. So we're comparing each episode against all the episodes in the other one. We did filter everything by date, did we? Or did we not? We did not do that, which is why everything is taking so long. Because we're only doing this filter here. So that would be the issue. I guess we can leave this, but what we need to do is have all feeds, and we'll say print filter to today. And so L feeds equals filter dot on date feed today for feed in L feeds. All right, so we're going to go through each one, take each feed, and filter it to today. And that was why it was taking absolutely forever, because whatever the limit is, like 100 episodes or something. So this should go significantly faster now. So it's reading them all in, which is something that we could consider, like that's easy to multi-process. Okay, so yeah, now it's going obviously super fast. And we're frozen on point forward. Now, South Beach Session had an episode. So why is point forward taking so long? Let's add in adding episodes from ep length equals the length of feed episodes. Adding. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I guess I'll leave that. I wonder if that one, I mean, so yeah, we have the one from Mr. Crate, the one from here, and this one. And I wonder why this one is taking so long. Because we're just doing the same thing, and we have what, 2, and now we have 4 episodes in here that we're comparing it against. So it should literally just, and wait, which one's which? So against here. So we're only comparing against 1, or I'm sorry, we're comparing against 4. Oh, this is backwards actually, because we want to get all the episodes in feed that aren't in main. So we're actually doing this backwards anyway. So let's fix that. Main feed. I don't think, well, we'll see if that helps with anything. Well, okay, it did. So that's good. I don't know why that was having an issue though. Why would it? I don't know why we're doing that. But we do have now Moco, Cooligans, this, and this one. So we now are getting this. And now if we want to form this other message, we need to have each episode. We also need for episode in episodes. We also need the right platform links, and we need to determine so we need to determine all these things. So what we actually have to do is we have to say so we're going to have replies. And so the other thing I'm going to do is let's remove at least these. And we can leave those other ones because those are short. So we're going to have a list of replies here. And now what we need to do is we want to say for app in all episodes. We basically want to determine if it's in. We know it's. Well, actually, no. It's, yeah. So we want to determine if it's in the main feed. Let me also do this real quick. I want to print I want to print main feed episodes. And then does episode have any sort of, it does have a repper, so that should be fine. Let's try this real quick. Because what I'm curious about is, did it adjust? Because what I did was, I set all episodes equal to this, and so the question is, does main feed now contain everything? And so if we look at it, we have yes, because this was for motivation use only. So we're gonna let's do this. We'll come here and we'll go copy. Now let's do it. So now, because we only wanted to have those two others, because now otherwise it'll detect that it's on both feeds, which it's not, and that would be a bug. So let's do it like this. And so now we have here Cooligans. So we have Moco here, and then where does Cooligans start? This is the feed. Cooligans starts here. All right, so that's good. So we can get rid of that. So now, for this episode, we want to determine basically what feed it's in, if it's in the main feed or not. So is on main, we'll say equal to filter dot intersection and we'll have to create a fake feed with metadata and I'm just going to use main feed metadata, and then the other thing we need to give it is episodes, and this will be just that episode. And we're going to compare this feed, and we're going to check it against the main feed, right? And so if this intersection, right, episodes, if the length of that is equal to 1, right? So if we take the episode and we filter it against, so part of me is thinking that we're filtering feeds, and what we really want is we want to be filtering episodes and keep the logic kind of removed out of there. So that's probably going to be a refactor we'll have to do. But if we compare a feed with just that episode against the main feed, and take the intersection, if this one exists in the main feed, then the return list of episodes will have this one episode in it. If it doesn't exist, then there's no intersection, right? So that's what we're doing here, where we're saying we're doing the intersection and we're comparing the check, which is the single episode list, and if it is in the main feed's list of episodes, then we keep it, and then that's what we return. So if it's 1, then it's there. If it's 0, then it's not on main. So the other thing we have to do is find out if there's any other feed that then contains it. So we basically want to... Now, for now, we know that there's only one feed that could contain it. So we'll at least use that as an assumption. Only one sub feed can currently contain the episode. Only one /no subfeed. So only one or no subfeed can currently contain the episode. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to basically say for feed in L feeds, we'll do the feed here, or we'll say temp feed is equal to filter dot intersection, and now we'll compare this feed against this well, actually, I guess we could do the same thing. We could do this, right? So we'll but instead of using the main feed here, we'll use this feed because it's going to be the same. So we'll do this, and then I'll move this down. Or no, this actually. Need to close this here, and this will be feed. Right, so it's the same thing. We're checking now it against each feed. If temp feed up here, we'll do actually. We'll say if temp feed episodes length is 1, then we'll break out. Otherwise, because we found it, otherwise let's set temp feed to none. And just for safety purposes, I will put this up here. Right, so then at the end, we can then say if temp feed and is on main, we'll say, so here we'll have reply equals none, or I guess actually we'll just do an empty string. At the end, we're going to come down here and we're going to say replies.append reply. And then, so if it's temp and main, else if is on main, elif. And then otherwise it's just on the temp feed, right? And then so now we basically just need to construct the reply. So here the reply is equal to reply equals factory.get podcast info both episode, comma, the podcast ID will be temp feed Oh, we weren't using another one because the main doesn't do it. So we want temp feed, metadata, and this is going to be Twitter handle, which is what we have up here. So we have that. If it's this one, then reply equals factory.get podcast info main. And this will just be ep. Oh, we also need links here. And so the links is going to be, well, it's actually going to be both, right? So it's going to be main feed. Here, let's do this. I'm just going to move this so I can see it all at once. So here we have episodes. That, and this is going to be main feed, metadata, well, I guess I should just construct it outside of this because it's going to be long. So I need this. So here we're just going to say links equals plus v for v in, and so this first one is going to be main feed. I'm going to take this line, paste it here, remove that. I guess we can get rid of this, get rid of that. And then this is going to be temp feed. But I guess we could actually whatever. I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. And then so this will be links here. What we're gonna do is let's just copy this. And I can restructure obviously everything later. So this is on main only, so I don't need to add this second list. And then we'll say links. And this reply equals factory dot get sub. This is episode. This is this and links. And we'll take this and we will replace it with temp feed. Let me append that on. All right. Well, this might work. So let's try it out. And it could also have some bugs. Alright, so we have all the episodes in the list. It looks like it worked. Almost. So what do we have? We've got today, Lebertard Show released these 5 episodes. Moco can be found on the main feed or the Montgomery Co. subfeed, and these are all their links. Cooligans can be found on the main feed or the Soccer Cooligans subfeed. These are all their links. The Mystery Crate can be found on the blank subfeed with the right links. So the links we have, this here is returning. Oh, that's because these because then the point forward is working. So technically you have to do it for all of them. I'm just going to do it for this one now because it's the only one that's actually affected by. So we'll just say should be done for all, and we'll add end, and we'll say ID, we'll do pod ID equals this, if not pod ID is equal to name. I think it's name, right? Yeah. Okay. So now let's rerun it. Hey, so it worked pretty well. It looks like there's technically no bugs. So I'm gonna do this, and then let's actually send the tweets and see how they're structured. No, so it still has none. Is it because it's a string? I feel like it's converting it into a string. Well, so hold on. We have the Twitter handle. If the type is not a string, it doesn't have an @ so it is coming through here. Let's just print pod ID and the type of the pod ID, and we'll add it, we'll print the name because that will tell us what we're looking at. And I put it in the right one, right? Yeah, because it's not on main, it's not on both. So, but it's definitely going much faster now that we filter those things down, and if we really want to increase the speed, we can do that. So let's come up here. So mystery crate, none type, none type. So why is it not resetting it? Right, this should very clearly be resetting that to the name. So why is it not doing that? True, true, false. If pod ID is none, I guess we'll just say that. I'm confused why that's not working. No, see, it's still not working. What am I doing? What am I doing here? Oh. I didn't replace it. Okay. Now it'll work. Can be found. What? What? Why is this not working? Something with this method. Get. Where's the message factory? Episode title. No, that's all correct. Metadata name. Oh, because again, and I should have noticed that with the point forward one. I did that somehow. Remove that accidentally, and now it should work for the 10th time. So I'm gonna remove these. Yeah, so we have all these tweets, all that information. So I'm gonna remove those, and I'm going to tweet them out. So let's send that. Switch over to Twitter. We'll be able to see it operating down here anyway as it spits stuff out. So right now it's has all the episodes in a list, and now it's sent the messages actually, because you can't see because I'm printing it. So now we have today, Friday, May 12th, Leopard Show release, Moko, Cooligans, episode 226, Israel Gutierrez. Is that just the name of it? I guess, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. And then we have the point forward, that, the mystery crate, Cooligan. So it looks like only the last one. And then it's probably just because there's an empty new line after. And so, I mean, like, I wonder, I'm gonna try, so I'm gonna come over here, I wanna try something. I'm gonna try creating just a manual tweet. Right, so like this was the tweet message. So if I take this, and then come back over here, and I were to say tweet, paste this in, it adds in this last one. That was interesting. I don't know what I did there. But what if I put it in pieces? So I do that, and then I say, and so the whole list thing isn't necessary. And what if I put this one in too? Oh, okay, so it can only actually list one of them. Right, so this is the Apple one, and this is the Spotify one. So in theory, whatever one I want to like have the logo for, I should put last. But otherwise, you know, so that's an interesting thing, and obviously, like, I want to consider the format of these kind of bullet points and stuff, especially if it's going to do this sort of replacement, and maybe whether or not I want to kind of list both and then just have like the Spotify link is right. Like if let's say, so here I'm going to take this from over here. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to try a couple things. Paste this here. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these, and I'm going to paste this twice. Now let's see if I were to create a tweet like this. Oh, but see, because the other one actually ignores it. So, like, you know, technically that would be what I wanted. But in this case, because I'm manually throwing it down, do that. But see, that, I guess I would probably want to do something like this. Because, yeah, I don't know. I mean, adding... So if I'm putting back the kind of the dashes, like, especially if it doesn't fit on the one line, it like does that, and that doesn't look good. Especially because the Spotify ones are wrong. Like the Apple ones are fine. Well, the Apple one's cut off, but so these ones don't. And so that doesn't necessarily look as good. But then again, if I were to do something like this, right, because it would remove that, or well, like the way this other one does it, it like puts it in there. So it would just have like this bullet for that one, and then I could, well, no. All right, well, so I'm gonna play with, we'll play with that, but it worked, right? So I'm gonna delete these again since page is still not ready, but it's working pretty well. In fact, looks like we don't, in theory, need to do the total refactoring of like we don't need to necessarily do the refactoring that I probably will want to do for the for some of the stuff like related to the filter and stuff. So, you know, we'll want to kind of make some updates to that, but what we will be able to do is clean all this up, and we will be able to code it, add some tests and stuff, and then after that's all in place, we can then worry about kind of doing refactoring things, and we'll have all the tests in place that'll verify everything works. And we can make some updates to the message factory and do all those sort of things. So for now, I'm going to call this good. Let me make sure this is saved. So look at status, get log .line -5, git commit -am. Got prototype. Essentials? Does Essentials have 2S or 1S? It has 2 S's. Prototype Essentials working. And go get tag ep42. And so with that, we now have the prototype working. We can create the UTs, the UT for it, and then implement the actual controller itself, and then like do some refactoring for a whole bunch of different things. So we will get working on that next time. And so until then, see ya.